Kick-off at 12 p.m. Kick-off is fast approaching at Ibrox Stadium for the Scottish Premier League match between Rangers and Aberdeen. I'll go through the lineups now. For Rangers, they make no changes from the side that drew 1-1 with Celtic. It's Kelly in goal. Defence is Tavernier, Suter, Balogun and Yefte. Midfield three of Raskin, Diomande and Barron. The front three, Bayrami, Dessers and Cherny. Aberdeen make 4 changes from the side that lost 1-0 to St Mirren. Meatov in goal. Defences, Devlin, Tobers, Noesta and Shinnie. Clarkson and Pulvara in the midfield pivot. Ockles, Keskinen and McGrath in behind Dabber. Kick-off at 12 p.m. Kick-off is fast approaching at Ibrox Stadium for the Scottish Premier League match between Rangers and Aberdeen. I'll go through the lineups now. For Rangers, they make no changes from the side that drew 1-1 with Celtic. It's Kelly in goal. Defence is Tavernier, Suter, Balogun and Yefte. Midfield three of Raskin, Diomande and Barron. The front three, Bayrami, Dessers and Cherny. Aberdeen make 4 changes from the side that lost 1-0 to St Mirren. Meatov in goal. Defence. And we will leave that just there. A very warm welcome to all those listening for this unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this Scottish Premier League match between Rangers and Aberdeen at the Ibrox Stadium. It's the early 12 o'clock kick-off on a Sunday here at Ibrox as Rangers launch an attack almost immediately from kick-off. Doesn't quite work out in the end, and the ball does just trouble on back towards the Aberdeen goalkeeper Meatov. There's already an issue as well for the Aberdeen number 24 Tobers, the defender brought in this game. He's on the deck with a back injury at the moment. Cyril Dessers going up for the challenge at the same time. That looks a bit of a painful one. It's myself, Josh Makin and Jordan Hogan taking you through this one. That looked like a bit of an early painful one there for the defender.
Yeah, because he landed right flat on his back, didn't he? So it's the last thing you want, isn't it? You're not even a minute into the game, you've been winded already and a little bit bruised. But it's going to be a bruising game up against Cyril Dessers. He is a big physical target man and he will put himself about.
Yeah, he certainly will. And just as we approach the end of the first minute at Ibrox, it's clear to see what sort of game we are going to be getting in this one. Obviously Rangers not really playing for much now at the end of the season. The title already well wrapped up by Celtic. They drew 1-1 as well in the Old Firm last week at Ibrox. It's been a disappointing one from their point of view. They obviously still waiting to confirm who their permanent manager is going to be at the end of the season. Still Barry Ferguson in charge at the moment.
Well, I doubt it. I doubt he's going to get it. And I think as well that the 49ers consortium are looking to get involved more heavily. They've got Leeds, and of course then you get well, Rangers be a feeder club to Leeds, or Leeds be a feeder club to Rangers. But it just makes sense where points they can overlap. I would assume that some of the decent Leeds Academy players, it might be easy to blood them in an SPL game rather than in a Premiership game, for instance, next season. So that kind of thing could happen, or where, between us, we've got 8 wingers, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Those sorts of things might work out. But I don't know. It's a difficult one to ponder, really. And the both sets of fans will think that they're the top dogs and, the big deal. But, yeah, not sure.
Yeah, certainly a big transition period though, isn't it? For Rangers finished well behind Celtic this year, currently 19 points behind the Scottish Premier League champions this time around. So they'll be wanting to bridge that gap next season. They'll think that the 49ers and Parag Marathi, who'll certainly be the chairman, will be able to bridge that gap for them, spend a lot of money and make them a better side, maybe help them compete better in Europe as well. Of course, some good runs in the Europa League in the last couple of years, but they'll be wanting to take that step into the Champions League as well. Touching on Aberdeen, currently 4th in the Scottish Premier League. They're on 54 points, 2 points behind Hibernian. Do have a much more superior goal difference. It's key for them. We were talking, weren't we, just before, John, about how they might want to try and avoid a bit of a tonk in here and try to keep that goal difference better than Dundee United, because if Dundee do manage to overtake them, I'll get level on points with them. They've got that superior goal difference potentially. If Aberdeen do take a bit of a beating here at
yeah, but it's a slender margin. They don't have much breathing space. They would be hoping at Celtic on the beach partying and all that kind of stuff, but it's a 4-goal swing. That's all that's required. Obviously Dundee United, the Terrors need to go and grab another victory, and for Aberdeen it's like, your last 2 games, the Rangers and Celtic, more than likely you're not going to get any points, are you? So he's got to keep it tight. We thought for that reason this game would be tight, and that Jimmy fell in there, then he's going to have his team working hard. I thought they might low block a little bit more, but I think the way that they're going about is being honest and keeping the shape. Good for them. Let's hope it works out for them. But Rangers got to be massive favourites.
Yeah, they certainly do. They are currently 15 points above Aberdeen in the table as well. So it sort of tells you the gap between those two sides. Just touching on the lineups as well. I'll just go for them now. Rangers, they don't make any changes from the side that drew 1-1 with Celtic in the Old Firm last week. It's Kelly in goal. The defence is Tavernier, Suter, Balogun and Yefte. Midfield three of Raskin, Diomande and Barron. Then the front three by Rami, Dessers and Cherny. Aberdeen though, they make 4 changes from the side that lost 1-0 at St Mirren. It's Mitov in goal, Devlin, Tobers, Nuesta and Shinny are the defence. Clarkson and Polvara sort of the midfield pivot. Ockles, Keskinen and McGrath in behind Dabbert as well. So sort of tells you about how disappointed they will have been to have lost that game to St Mirren. Obviously not playing for anything themselves. Sat 6th as we just see Cherny getting down towards the byline now, trying to cut the ball back towards his Aberdeen team, Rangers teammates. They might let Aberdeen on a bit of a counter-attack now as Ockles charges down the left wing, just approaching 5 minutes in. This one Suter able to cover easily in the end, but he does win a set piece there. The Aberdeen left wing, it'll be the first corner of the game.
Yeah, that's right. The Dane on loan from PNE just got going there. He wasn't really going anywhere. I don't think he had any company. But the ball was toe-ended out, and luckily for him, it's gone out for a corner kick. So an opportunity, you know, they nick a goal. That would be great for them. Like we said, you know, that goal difference, you know, that's what they're looking at. It could be massive. I still, even if they score here, I can't see them going up and win the game. But again, it depends. They're playing 2 beachy teams, if you like. But it's at Ibrox. You know, had it been in the Granite City, it might have been different. But I think even Rangers, it's not full, is it, at Ibrox today?
No, I was just about to mention actually, as the corner comes towards the back post, eventually dealt with by Rangers. There's a lot of empty seats, isn't there, in that Ibrox stadium that we can see on our screens. Just sort of tells you about what the fans are thinking at the moment. Obviously not happy with the manager and the situation around that.
Yeah, why bother going such a thing? You know, you've got better things to do. It's a beautiful day, and we're seeing empty seats all around, aren't we? I mean, that stadium fills 50-odd thousand, but I would suggest to you that maybe there's 40 in there. I would reckon there's 10,000 missing today.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Obviously the Ultras section away to the right still full, and full of the fans clapping every single action that the team does get up to in this game. Just seen Barry Ferguson there as well, shouting out to his players on the touchline. Always looks like a very animated figure, Barry Ferguson. Can't doubt his passion for the club. It's just about his ability and whether he is the man to sort of bridge that gap with Celtic and have them competing with titles again.
Well,
not convinced, John?
No, I don't think so. But I think people with better credentials have fallen foul of a club that you get nothing for coming second. You know, you can play in Europe. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst took him to a final, but it's like, well, you know, then he was out in his ear. I don't know what it is. I think it's just difficult. There's no room for second best, but between them and Celtic, somebody's got to be second. You know, Celtic are going on that sort of run, aren't they, where it seems almost impossible to catch them. But you know, when you look back at that, it was just those shrewd signings, I think, from Asia, those Japanese guys, for next to nothing. They got themselves some terrific players who were happy to stay at the club for a long time. They might even get Furuhashi back next season. They need some kind of divine inspiration like that, don't they, Rangers?
Yeah, they certainly do. Maybe they will get that if the takeover is completed. Obviously Celtic with those Japanese players like Maeda and Arate as well in the midfield. Fantastic additions to their team, and it's helped them go well in the Champions League this year. They certainly gave a good effort of getting into round of 16 before being eliminated in the playoff rounds. We're just seeing Aberdeen with the ball at the back at the moment after a free kick given.
Do you know what? I did range in Europe, and it was a bit like sort of Cervantes thing, you know, tilting at windmills and all that, running to stand still, and there was some heroics in there, certainly for, you know, 0-0 with 10 men against superior opposition, if you like. But it's all sort of like, you know, is that it? You know, the fans expect more. Rangers are massive, but and I think some of the signings that they've made more recently, you shrug your shoulders and go, really, you know. And they used to get the fag end of players who'd been decent in the Premier League, didn't they? Well, once or twice they'd managed good signings like Davis and stuff like that. For the most part, it's like yesterday's men, like Arfield and players like that. I just thought not quite the quality or the calibre that this team need to be looking for young bloods, don't they? And getting that young talent in. Other clubs like Brighton, Brighton nowhere near as big as Glasgow Rangers, are they? How do they spot that young talent, keep fetching it in. Something's got to change. That's all.
Yeah, it certainly does. There's an early chance there as well. Looks like it for Aberdeen, as Keskinen was the man trying to get on the end of the ball over the top. Didn't quite work out in the end. We are just approaching the 10-minute mark as well in this game. There's not really been any major chances at all to report on so far. I don't think there's been a single shot, as we may have expected with this one.
No, I think that what surprised me more, Josh, is that Aberdeen is sort of holding a shape and playing properly. And then it's up to Rangers to do the same thing. They've got good players. I like Diamande. I like Shirley Lalonde. I think he's good. But it's where's the motivation? Where's the desire? If there is no desire to do anything, if you just drop, say, 5 percentage points from your normal performance, then you're not at it. Against the team who are really motivated to do well here. Let's see how they go on. They might walk themselves into an easy victory, but at the minute, it just doesn't look like that, does it?
No, it certainly doesn't. And Cherney's just passed the ball straight out of play there after receiving it from a throw-in. So certainly tells you what sort of mood Rangers looking at the moment. It's with the fans as well. It's just a very sort of relaxed atmosphere and not an intense one that we are used to seeing sometimes from the Ibrox. Diamande there with a nice pass forward, looking for Cherney. Doesn't quite run to the Czech international though, and Shinnie will get that ball down the line. Some battle there between Ockles, who's just further back as well, before the referee gives the free kick the way of the home side, and they can get the ball on the floor once again. Suter at the back, finding Yefte now just past the halfway line. Still got some decent quality off the bench if they want to bring it on in the second half, Rangers. It's just goes through those for you now as well. It's Butland who's the substitute goalkeeper. There's Casamiro, Proper, Lawrence, Curtis, Cortez, Rice, Danilo and Igomane all on the bench for Rangers, so some decent power on there. You'd think Barry Ferguson would have utilised the squad a little bit more as well recently, making, fielding the same team that drew 1-1 with Celtic. I think a lot of fans were asking for some changes, maybe the likes of Igomane to be introduced for this game, and Bailey Rice as well. He's had a decent couple of games.
Yeah, I think so. He's sort of coming back from injury, isn't he? Igamane's had an interesting season where he broke through and he looked fantastic. I think he looks like he's carrying half a stone too much for me. Maybe that's something they can address in pre-season. He's definitely got something about him though. I thought he might just be forcing his way past Dessers, but the competition between the two I think has brought the best out of Dessers as well. Long cross towards Dessers, but it's picked out the sky there by Mitov. All 6'2" of him jumping in the air, but he didn't have to do too much there to get the ball back. Raskin there, he'd been linked with Leeds, hadn't he? I'm not sure whether he'd necessarily be any better than what Leeds have got in the Premier League, but he's a decent player.
Yeah, he certainly is. Obviously, that Leeds midfield pretty stacked at the moment with likes of Yao Tanaka and others as well to name. It's tough getting in that job, but if the 49ers do complete the takeover, it'd be interesting to see if there is many transfers between Rangers and Leeds. Obviously, which side would take priority those rules as well in UEFA competitions. If they were both to ever qualify for Europe, the 49ers might have to dilate their interest in one of the clubs, like Nottingham Forest owner Marinakis has had to do in recent times.
They always find a way around that though, don't they? I think it'd be fanciful to think that Leeds will be playing in European football anytime soon, but just being in the Premier League is such a big deal, isn't it? What's bigger, playing Champions League or playing Premier League? Well, in terms of finances, he's probably just playing in the Premier League. Great, huge games week after week. It's an incredible standard now, and it's like the world's league. Everybody's watching it. They've thrown money at the Saudi league. Nobody's interested. Same thing for China when they did that. Obviously, you've got good teams in Spain and Italy and Germany, but they just don't hold a candle to the Premier League.
No, they certainly don't. Obviously, there's the 12 o'clock kickoff as well going on in the Premier League at the moment. Newcastle United embroiled in that battle for Champions League football with Chelsea. The Geordies have taken the lead as well at St James Park early in that one. Sandro Tonali getting the goal there. That is also available on our service at the moment. It's the only Premier League game going on at the moment. There's the later kickoffs at 2:15. Man United, West Ham, Nottingham Forest against Leicester, and Tottenham against Crystal Palace before that 4:30 clash between the top two, Liverpool and Arsenal, all available on our service as well.
Yeah, that would be a big game, wouldn't it, if it was? If there was anything on it, but there ain't. So, they're always worth a watch, those games, aren't they? Anyway, here come Rangers, trying to get decent ball in. Jeff Day's ball in, well, that's not the best. and certainly his next ball is terrible. So I'm not over impressed by him, the Brazilian. He's hard working and all that. Oh, foul given away there. Diamande, I think it was, and I don't think he missed there. Caught his man on the shin. It might be Clarkson or Devlin. Anyway, it's a free kick for the Dons.
Yeah, it looks a bit of a sore one there for Clarkson, just by his own corner flag. Or does win this side though.
It was DeBar first mention of him. What's this striker doing back there? Well, he
confusing one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
him all the way back there then.
Well, he's playing auxiliary right back then. Good for him, but I got him chalked down as a lone striker, really. Anyway, the Palestinian doing a good job there. Got his body in the way and won a free kick.
Yeah, he's going to have to work really hard as well, obviously, for his team today. They're going to be under a lot of pressure from the Rangers teams, but at the moment, Rangers not really posing any sort of threat against Aberdeen. We're in past the opening 15 minutes now as well. There's still not really been a shot in this game to speak of. We've just been discussing other parts around the season, a bit more around the context of Rangers and Aberdeen and their seasons, rather than anything going on in the game. It's mainly just been Rangers passing it around at the back.
What we needed to do is to schedule the things we were going to talk to in this 90 minutes, like a good radio programme. What should we talk about next? Well, because the football's a bit boring, and we kind of thought it would be like that. It does seem beachy, but just as soon as I say that, here's an opportunity.
Yeah, here is Diamande now on the right side, cuts in, tries to strike a cross goal as well, but it's good defending in the end from Aberdeen, and do get the clearance. It's only as far as James Tavernier. Now with Conor Barron. Barron might find Diamande, instead he goes towards Cherney. Good ball forward as well, looking for Tavernier, can't quite keep it under control, and Aberdeen do clear. They were looking at a bit of a counter-attack then for the moment, before Rangers mopped up, and here is Jeff Day now on the left side, hugging the touchline before driving inside a little bit. Might have a chance for a shot if he gets it right. Goes for the Trevella effort in the end. Can tell how much of a left-footed player he is with that shot there. He should have really either gone for his right foot or maybe found the pass. Tried to go for the Trevella and it was blocked.
Yeah, exactly that. So left-footed and very difficult to make that sort of shot stick. Anyway, there he goes. He sweeps in percentage ball. There's no better than that. Another cross comes in. Again, it's no good. I always think players who cross the ball, it's almost like if you're slinging it in, then you don't have to look at your targets. I always think, forget that, mate. What about passing? If you're going to pass the ball, if you're trying to diagonal from deep, you'd be looking for a target. They don't do that, do they, when they cross it in? And some terrible crosses there. Jeff Day, another opportunity. What's he going to do? And, he retreats, thinks about it, then he goes backwards.
Yeah, towards Diamande as well. There was a good surging run forward for a moment there by Balogun, the defender. Obviously still wearing his face mask at the moment, after picking up that head injury. And it is now just being played between the Rangers defence once again. Aberdeen have got plenty of numbers back in the way of it. Just past 17 minutes at Ibrox, still Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0. Diamande picking the ball up there in the centre before offloading it to Barron. Nice little ball as well towards the right wing for Tavernier. Has to take it on his left. Goes now towards Raskin. Raskin limited for options, cuts it on his left though. Diamande to his left. Space now for Jeff Day. Crosses from deep, it's towards the back post. Decent ball, Dessers was momentarily underneath it. Tavernier just lets it run in the end. I think the referee has given a free kick though against Dessers for maybe just impeding his man.
Yeah, like I said, he's a big guy putting himself about, but did he do too much? Little shove. That's time on it for a striker, isn't it? Before the ball comes in, shove your man out of the way, then with the ball, I can buy myself. But the referee, David Dickinson, he's the real deal. He was watching. Anyway, there's a little bit of time off. That clearly going to help the Dons, but just a little wink there as the man goes across. But I think he'd be all right there. I don't know if that's Mats Noster, but anyway, Alex McLeish looking on. Aberdeen captain and Rangers manager looking on with interest, but honestly, it's been boring. Just slinging the ball in the mixer, like I said. There's no sense of trying to find a man who put the ball in. One of Jeff Day's balls in there wasn't that bad, and that was that last ball. But really, it's just throwing mud at the wall, and it's not good enough. Rangers fans want and demand better than this. There's a whole host of players there that I just think, you're not it. I don't know. It's a disappointing team, really. I'm looking at the bench thinking, if I were Tom Lawrence, I'd be wanting away. If he can't get in that team, I think there's a decent player in there, but he needs to go and reboot his game somewhere else. Proper's on the bench because they still haven't forgiven him for getting sent off that time, I don't think. Bailey Rice because he got an injury, and as we've said, Igamane. Other than that, I'm not overly bothered by the rest of them. Cortez could take or leave. I do like Hadji, but weirdly enough, because his dad is such a talented player and an attacker, you assume that he's going to be down. But I think weirdly he's good going box to box. We'll break off here, come Aberdeen.
Yeah, here they are now as well. It was Keskinen who picked the ball up on the edge of the area after a long ball forward. It was Nicky Devlin, wasn't it? He was down injured before finally got back up to his feet. Cross is still coming in from Graham Shinney on the left side. Headed up in the air now by Noesta. He's going to try and battle for that one as well in there. It's becoming a little bit scrappy, and Rangers eventually do win a free kick after the referee thinks it goes a little bit too far. But yeah, Hadji obviously, don't believe he's involved as well today, not on the bench for Rangers.
I think he's got an injury, but like I said, in some of the, when they're down to 10 men kind of games, all of a sudden he comes to life. And I think when you pigeonhole him and say, oh, actually we think you're an attacker, you're not getting the best out of him. So, when they've been back to the wall, I've seen him run his blood to water and think, why don't you do that all the time? And he cleared because he's just in the wrong position for me. Anyway, I think he should be box to box, maybe holding midfielder. I don't know whether he'd like that himself, but, I think that's where his talent lies. Anyway, there's a lot of sifting and sorting, but you still couldn't make this team a great one, I don't think.
No, you definitely couldn't. Here comes Jeff Diller now on the left side. Decent ball into the box as well, was low and well driven, but did go all the way through. Tavernier picks it back up though before finding Diomande. Now with Raskin, just about 40 yards away from goal at the moment. Finds Diomande, nice little football this from Rangers before Bayrami picks the ball up. Probably the first time we've mentioned his name so far. Nice ball here towards Diomande. Diomande looking for Dessis, who just nipped in. It's the first sort of real chance of the game that we've seen so far, and it's taken 21 minutes for it to happen. Good football from Rangers, nice ball from Jesters, and then Diamande as well. I think the referee must have given a corner for that one. I'm not sure if it's Noesta who gets there just up ahead of Dessers, but no, it's a goal kick.
No, it's a goal kick. Dessers did get, the right side of his man, but at the angle. I think Nosta did a good job in behind him. And before that, yeah, it was good play, wasn't it? Because instead of taking 3 or 4 touches, it was like Jeff did a first-time ball, and Diamande controlled it and passed it. They need to move the ball more quickly. If they are more talented players, which we assume they are, given where they are in the table, then it's control and pass. That's a better ball, and maybe an opportunity. Dessis is down now. What happened to him? Well, he's down poleaxed, but I didn't see what happened because the ball never got to him. But it's a bit of warfare in there. I tell you what, Dessis is not on the beach, is he? He's having a right battle with whoever wants to fight with him today.
Yeah, he's definitely showing his frustration maybe with the season at the moment. It's a nice ball into the box, wasn't it, from Tavernier? It was Bayrami who was the man who momentarily chested it down before some good strength from Tobers. Just pushed him off the ball. Tobers did get sent into the advertising boards. Looks like a bit of a painful one for him as well, so maybe both medics are going to be on the pitch now.
Well, yeah, and did Dessis just fall down? Was there anybody around him when he fell? It looked like, he just, I don't know, felt a tweak or something. Tobers felt a tweak because he got pushed into the advertising hoarding from Bajrami, which was a bit naughty. But anyway, Aberdeen again wasted a little bit of time for their goal kick. It tells you where their mindset is. Waste as much time as they can.
Yeah, it certainly is. Mitov eventually it takes the kick, sends it long downfield towards that left side. It's Tavernier, the man underneath it though. Decent one-touch football there before Barron eventually picks it back up for Rangers and sets Cherney down the right side almost before Noesta has to come across to cover him. Now Tavernier to take that from him. Just a little bit better from Rangers in this last couple of minutes or so. Just finding the passes a little bit quicker and moving it from the middle of the park. As it stands though, we're still waiting for the first goal at Ibrox. Still goals between Rangers and Aberdeen. We're just about halfway inside the first half. It will be John to take through to half time.
Yeah, thanks Josh. It's not been an easy watch. Rangers just beginning to get the measure of the opposition. As we see Keskinen, who been pretty lively, couldn't get the ball out of his feet there, and it goes all the way back to Liam Kelly. Now he finds Suter, then Barron, and again John Suter goes to pick the ball up. If Rangers are to be successful today, then they probably need to get Tavernier a little bit further up the field. but because O'Kells is playing a little bit higher up, you've got to mind him. I think that'd be half the reason why Aberdeen is trying to keep a shape. We have seen nothing of their striker, Ode Debar's an attacking force. We did see him as a makeshift or auxiliary right back at one point, getting upended. As Devlin now is on the ball, scrapes it into midfield. They don't win it back though. A little drop of the shoulder there from Bajrami, and then he has the ball winkled away from him. So we're 25 minutes gone, and I don't know if you're writing down chances, Josh, but you need to write much down, would you? And I can't remember anything really that was worth mentioning.
No, not so far. So for the half-time report, it might be just sort of scratching at things and trying to scrape down the bottom of the barrel, but not been too much at all so far. Rangers definitely just has that feel, doesn't it, of an end of season clash which hasn't got much riding on it. Both sides just maybe going through the motions. Rangers certainly a little bit more with Aberdeen still with something to play in this one as they try and send the ball forward, but can sort of see their limitations in attack as well. They don't look like they're going to do anything when they do go forward.
No, they don't, and that was a terrible ball by Leighton Clarkson just to rubber stamp that. The ball over the top, maybe an opportunity for Keskinen. He heels it onto his other foot and then he takes the ball out. It wasn't a great ball, it was a sort of lob wedge to nothing, wasn't it, that just bounded off the turf and eventually went out. Anyway, Raskin on the ball now, booted out by Kelly. Bajrami comes for him, step over by Cherney. Dessers spins it round the corner, cross comes in, easily dealt with by Nuster, and then looked like there might have been a foul in the middle of the park. Referee's not interested because play's going on, and he points at the ball. Carry on, lads. Jeff Day back on it into midfield for Barron, and then Balogun. Barron again. Raskin. Not sure that they need two defensive midfielders today. I'd have thought either of Barron or Raskin would be enough. As the cross comes in, there's a header, and Dessers has headed it wide. That ball just dipped on him. He's a little bit unlucky there, really. He peeled off his man. It was a good chance.
Yeah, it certainly was. You mentioned a couple of minutes ago about getting James Tavernier involved higher up the pitch, and that's exactly why. It's a good ball from the Rangers captain, just in the middle of the park. It's decent. Obviously, Dessers not picked up at all by his man. Goes for that far corner in the end. It's a little bit behind, so he just has to come back onto it a bit and can't quite get it on target. But yeah, first real sort of big chance that for Rangers.
Yeah, and that's the quality of James Tavernier, who it'd be a long time gone. I mean, he's nicked so many goals, assists, and goals he's scored himself. He's got real quality in the final third about him. He's a pretty decent defender. He's lost a little bit of legs anyway. We'll just see him sliding in. Then he drops the shoulder. He's just showing absolute class. It's a decent ball then to Cherney, but you've got to give credit. Notch comes across and deals with that real quality there from Tavernier. Sometimes when you're showcasing somebody, they also give the ball away, don't they? But he must have been red hot there. Anyway, ball chipped over the top. Here's an opportunity. The flag's not gone up. A chance for Aberdeen. Shot comes in. Good save by the keeper. I think the flag should have gone up there. In the end, Keskinen, I think it was, trying to get on his right foot. He might have been onside,
I think he's timed that run to perfection by the looks of things. Obviously, we didn't get really a still angle of it, so we don't know if he was truly onside. But it looks like he just bent his run perfectly around the defender. But yeah, first shot on target really in this game, and it actually goes to Aberdeen just after Rangers were putting themselves a little bit more on top. Good ball over through there. The Rangers defence just raced onto it, couldn't quite get the power on it in the end. It's a save that I think Kelly should make, but still had to make it regardless.
Yeah, he did. Here they come again. Debar, first opportunity for him. Conor Brown brings him down. Surely that's a foul. It is. And it's an opportunity for a free kick at the edge of the area. I don't know if they go for goal here. More positive stuff here from the Dons, isn't it? It's a bit like, well, there's a load of lethargy from Rangers. Why can't we flourish today?
Yeah, they've certainly got to be thinking that. I mean, there's absolutely no reason at all they can't go and get a positive result from Ibrox with the way that Rangers are at the moment and not looking for anything at all. But they've been fine so far. Obviously, a few chances creeping in the last couple of minutes or so for Rangers, but still we're up to half an hour and they've not even had a shot on target really, the home side, so they'll be pleased with that as it stands, and a decent chance here from the free kick. Looks like they might go for goal from it.
Yeah, Leighton Clarkson then. It's on the left-hand side, so he's all right foot. He hasn't really got too many targets if he's going to chip the ball in. Quite a long way away. But anyway, channel your Declan Rice. He goes for it. It's not the worst hit. But I've got to say as well that Liam Kelly just, all right. Off you pop, kid. And he was well wide in the end.
Yeah, it's a decent enough effort, obviously, not really too much aim. I don't think Kelly was ever really threatened by that one. It's going to take a lot more to beat him from that sort of range, but still a decent effort. Shows you, a good bit of confidence from the Aberdeen man there to take that shot on as well. Be encouraged by that and the fact that they are getting up the pitch a little bit more now and testing that Rangers backline. They want to continue that in the last 15 of this first half.
Yeah, so Declan Rice probably gets the assist for that effort, doesn't he? Everyone thinks they can have a go nowadays. Nothing wrong with that. You get a free hit, don't you? And rather than chipping into the box and it's headed away, you might as well. So we thought this would be a tight game, and the reasons are the four Rangers. It's a dead rubber, and if their fans couldn't be bothered to turn out, we reckon there's probably about 10,000 missing. Just looking at the empty seats, might even be more than that. But for Aberdeen, there's a plot. They need to keep it tight. Goal difference could be important. It could be their friend or their enemy. But in fairness to them as well, they've kept a shape. Here they are again. They're trying to find the Debar. He's not going to get there first. In the end, Suter comes across, and I think Debar's just happy to let Suter get that because all he could do was knock the ball out. Again, it's not bad from the Dons. If they don't keep players up the field, they don't even get a chance for that, do they?
No, exactly. I think Dabbard knows exactly what to do in that sort of situation. Even if he puts all of his effort to keeping that in, he's probably going to be dispossessed and Rangers get the ball back anyway. Instead, Aberdeen have got a throw in fairly high up the pitch as well, so another chance to pen Rangers in their own sort of first third, and we'll see when they make use of it.
Yeah, it's decent throw, and then they immediately lose the ball. Diamande prods it forward, and now Bajrami, he tries to take it on. Heels clip there, but because Rangers have got the ball, the referee has decided that they can play on. Diamande again, nice and tidy, and then just rolling out for the back with Barron over the halfway line. Like I said, I don't think they need Barron and Raskin. It's overkill that. I think when they've probably got what, about 60% possession, maybe even more than that. I just think they need players who can unpick a lot. I'd be bringing on Igamane at half time for one of the holders. Just think why not go for it and give the fans a bit of a thrill. Maybe Barry Ferguson a bit more doer about the way he goes about things. I don't know. Certainly was a very combative, full-blooded sort of player. But just because you've been a stalwart for a club doesn't necessarily make you a good manager. And all the way through history, we've seen that great players don't necessarily make great managers, haven't we?
Yeah, certainly do. I mean, there's a few that spring to mind. Obviously, remember Pirlo recently at Juventus not exactly working out quite well. It happens all the time. Henry, probably the greatest Premier League player of all time, doesn't make for quite a good manager, obviously, as well. And it always seems to just be done in sort of a nostalgia trip and hoping that they get the club, and that's what works out for them in the end. But time and time again, the scene gets that. But here come Aberdeen now down the left side.
They do. A cross comes in. It's taken a deflection. It's gone through the box, and Devlin should pick it up and might be able to recycle it. Just going to let that ball roll out. Don't know if they've got a long throw merchant, but anyway, the ball is thrown in. Delbert can't control it. It's a waste of time. Dessis can, and then there's a foul. Bajrami caught late there, and it should be a yellow card, and it will be. And I just think Toba's there, just leaving one in. He didn't need to do that because I think Bajrami wasn't getting away there, but he thought he was. Just scraped his studs down his shin.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a yellow card challenge. That his studs are up and just sort of scrapes on him. It'll be a painful one there for Bajrami, and I don't think it's a necessary one for Tobas to make. I agree with you in that situation. He's took a really heavy touch. The ball's probably going to end up going out of play, if anything, and it's a bit of a problem now as well for the Albanian. He's just receiving a bit of treatment after it, and I'm not surprised as well. It's a bit of a sore one.
Yeah, because do you know when it's like, oh, he's just scraped his studs down, but that's the force of his entire body going through a couple of small points. It's a lot. It's a lot of impact. Yeah, he didn't need to do that, did he? Because there was a foot in from Polvara. It's the first time I've mentioned him. Yeah, really nasty one that, and he catches him on the toe end as well, doesn't he? Yeah, Tobers, the Latvian there. It's just a misread for me. He should have read the touch from Dante Polvara, the man from Pleasantville, New York. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? I bet it in. I bet it in. Anyway, 35 minutes gone. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0. I think it's still 1-0, isn't it, in the Premier League? I don't know if last time we looked. And Chelsea have had a man sent off, so that's not going to further their cause. Jackson, what's he done?
Looks like there's been a VAR review in that game as well, so it was initially a yellow card for Nicholas Jackson. I think it was a bit of an off-the-ball one that was given. VAR has gotten into it. It's been given for elbowing as well, so real unnecessary one there from Nicholas Jackson. I know he can be a little bit erratic at time, but he's really put his side under the cost there. They're already 1-0 down in a big Champions League battle game like that, and then the striker gets sent off. It's not a good start to the afternoon for Chelsea.
Yeah, well, there we go. No Nkunku either. I think he's injured, so I don't know who they bring off the bench. A bunch of renegades, those lads, aren't they? Just you don't know. They'll probably buy another 12 players next season, then you sift and sort that. By the time you worked out who's unhappy and all that, and you're halfway through the season. Anyway, the ball headed up in the air. Although, albeit at one point, they were sort of dark horses for the title, weren't they, this season? That petered out pretty quickly. But anyway, we'll break off because they're a little run forward there by, I think it was Debar running from the left-hand side. But now maybe an opportunity, ball into the box. Cherney shows just way too much of that. Clarkson's a good foot in there, actually. But again, good ball, Tavernier. Cherney cuts it onto his right, cross comes in, deflected, that will be a corner kick. 37 minutes gone, and again Rangers just throwing mud at the wall right now. No great quality, one good move down the left, really, that's it.
Yeah, that's all it's been able to write about so far. It was a lovely ball though, down the right hand side just then from Tavernier towards Cherney. It's Porto from the Czech international. You know what he's going to do every time, Cherney. He's a very left-footed player. He just wants to cut inside, and it's very easy for defenders to read it in the end, and that's what happens there. He can never go on his right side. He's going to take this corner now. We'll go the arms for it. We'll see if he can make any better delivery though with this one.
Yep, so we know it's going to be a left-footed in swinger, and it comes, and well, it bounces through the box. Hit Balogun on the backside, I think. I don't think he knew what was going on. Anyway, ball out to the left. Dessis is now like a left winger. It's a decent cross in, headed up and away by Tobers. And the ball fought for at the edge of the box, but now Debar should be able to run it clear. He's hustled and harried. He ran out of space. The ball went out, but he had three around him. It was a miracle he nearly came away with the ball there. Didn't get any help from the assistant referee on this near side though, and it looked like he might have just held it in, but he never. It was a decent ball in from the corner kick. Caused a bit of consternation, but in the end, like I said, it Balogun on the backside.
Yeah, nothing he could really do about it in the end. It's like he didn't expect it to fall all the way through. It misses quite a few bodies as it goes through the penalty and just comes off him in the end. Rangers are coming forward again, and I love the turn by Raskin.
Yeah, but he turns into a defender. Noster just about gets there. I love what Cherney did there. He pointed as if he was going to go to the right hand side, then he cut it onto his left, and like nobody was buying that at all. It's all right doing that, but then you've got to be an Arjen Robben or Lionel Messi, haven't you? If you're going to be that one-footed and that obvious. Sometimes I think you need to step onto your swinging leg really, or develop that a little bit to give yourself an option. But he wants to come inside every time. Aberdeen have won the ball now, looking for a run through for Keskinen again. Out comes the keeper, Liam Kelly, read that well. His long ball out was kept in by Dessis, and that forced the defender to defend. So yeah, Noster had to come out and deal with that. Here's Dessis, the one-man army today, getting involved, putting himself about the Nigerian. Ball with Bajrami, a bit more quiet. Raskin. And yeah, 45 minutes that aren't going to live for too long in the memory unless they can do something. Cherney now a chance to run, but he runs into Shinnie. He's got too much for him. too much experience. Decent looking out ball, and then well, O'Kell's, or was it Keskin? It was a pretty obvious run. I think it was O'Kell's, and it's just I'm just going to toe in the ball past my man and run past him. Well, we're not at school anymore. You know, you're very unlikely to make that stick, are you? It's just too obvious, really.
Yeah, it's just very obvious and predictable at the moment from both sides on an attack in front. It's like the defenders, they both just look very comfortable in the game. There's not really any penetrating balls in behind or anything like that, or any quick passes. It's just so easy for them both to read, and at the moment that's why we're getting so little to talk about in terms of action.
Yeah, again, some decent enough defending by Clarkson, and ball goes out. Jeff Day will be looking to support Badrami down this left-hand side. In fact, he takes the throw-in. Ball goes back to Raskin with 40 minutes on the clock. Raskin drops his shoulder, beats Debar too easily. Conor Barron now thinks about the strike. The ball back on the inside. Clever play, really, but they couldn't find a way through. Again, I gotta say, you know, he'll win the first prize for running straight, won't he, O'Kells? But you've got to have a little bit of courage. Just, well, I'm going to run, Forrest, run. But he just running straight. And
it's like tunnel vision, isn't it? It's just, you can only see one thing in front of him.
Yeah, not the best. Anyway, Suter chips it down the line. Tavernier found some space. Took a little bit of time to pick up the ball. He's running into the experienced Shinny as well today. We see a shot from Cherney. Why not? He reminds us that he's a decent strike on him. He's that far away, though. He was never really going to make that stick, was he?
No, it was a very hopeful, it wasn't it, from Cherney, as he just cutting on the right. You can't afford, if you're an Aberdeen player, to let him do that too much. You've just got to show him the outside as much as you can. They didn't that time, and although he was that far out, he gets a decent little bit amount of power. It's definitely a save that Mitov made, but here he comes again.
Yeah, well, he's taking on to his right this time. And then Shinny just takes the ball off him. No, keep it on your left, mate.
You
like
saw exactly why he wants to do it every time there, didn't we? He just sort of fell over himself. It was like he didn't really know what to do when he got into that situation on his right foot.
He said, right, I'm going to fool you now, I'm going to go on my right. Oh, I don't know what to do. And then Shinny just takes the ball. Thanks, mate. Don't bother going on your right again. Well, there we go. Yeah, needs a bit of work. We just saw Nicky Devlin run into Jeff Day there, the real collision. Jeff Day's really hurt himself there. Devlin just head down. Gonna go. And Jeff Day took it, the brunt of Devlin. They both got hurt in that, but Devlin sort of managed to sort of shield himself by going in with his elbow into the midriff of Jeff Day, which is the kind of thing I always used to do on the football pitch. Always have an elbow first, so protect myself a little. When you're little, you've got to protect yourself, don't you? But anyway, I see great big guys going, on earth hit me, like, you know. 42 minutes gone. And it's 0-0. And to be honest, both me and Josh, I think we're probably where we thought we were going to be. It's a tight game. Aberdeen are keeping it tight. They want it to be tight. They've had one chance, haven't they? Keskinen running through. He looked offside, but when we looked again, it looked like he actually bent his run well enough. He got his shot away. Liam Kelly saved it. For Rangers, I think maybe the Dess's header from that Tavernier cross, and then a good little bit of play down the left with which Jeff D started was all right, but that's really it. You're not talking about huge XG in this game. Barron though drives forward. The Rangers haven't quite given up scoring. Diomande now. We're closing age of the first half as the cross comes in straight down the middle. Poor ball. And Mitov says, yeah, okay, calm down, lads. First bad ball, actually, from Tavernier, who's been the best player out there today.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's been Rangers' biggest threat going forward so far, hasn't he? Even though he's meant to be playing, obviously, as the defending line and one of the first players back. We're not seeing enough from those Rangers front three at the moment. Diomande not really been involved. Dessus has had it very limited, other than that header that he's had. Cherney as well, Bayrami not really doing enough on the winger from Barry Ferguson. I'm definitely looking at changing that up at half time. Although here is Dessus just towards the byline.
Yeah, I mean, all he can do is keep the ball in there. Cherney's running away. He needed to run to him and help him. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do the ball from where he was. But yeah, it looks a bit like they're playing one-out football today, doesn't it? We're not seeing any great movement or any great link-up play. You know, they're passing the ball sideways. It's football by numbers, really. sort of a little bit what Man City did that game against Southampton yesterday, and they went sideways. Eventually brought on Doku, who made a big difference because he actually took players on and broke the line. But for the moment, Aberdeen seen everything, is in front of them. Here though, Tavernier beats his man, puts a decent ball in, and where did that come off? I don't know if it hit the back of Dessers or where that hit him. Maybe, I think the Nigerian might have overrun the ball there. Debar chases after one now. Suter's going to get there first, and he finds a good ball for Tavernier. Weird that, Josh.
Yeah, really weird. We'll have to see a replay. I don't even know what part of the body that came off from Dessers. I think a few Aberdeen players claiming that it came off his arm as he was pretty much nearly in the goal. But again, a great delivery from Tavernier. He's the only one really, isn't he, putting those dangerous crosses into the box at the moment. It's not been coming through from anywhere, but here is Dessers now, through on goal, and he puts the ball into the back of the net. Rangers ending the half strongly. Flag stays down as well. The first time they've really gone through the middle in this game, and just after Dessers had that chance right in front of goal, he finally gets his moment and scores.
Yeah, he does. He kept on going. I think he's done well today, really. Puts himself about, doesn't he? And he's not having a day off today. We're into 2 minutes of added time now. Look at the goal as well. Cherney, I think it's a clever step over from him, is it? No, it's the man in front of him. Moves out Raskin, not sure. But anyway, the ball rolls through. Was he onside in that? I think he did well there. Hand goes up from the defender, but Barron's ball is good. Yeah, it's a nice step over from Raskin, and an easy finish really for Dessers.
Yeah, it's a lovely finish for you. I think it is probably going to be ruled offside though, isn't it? Obviously Barron plays the ball through. Dessers is on offside in that occasion.
He's never onside in that. Why did the flag not go up?
It's quite a clear one. Well, we saw it, didn't we, yesterday, or the other day, of course, with the Championship playoffs. There was that horrific decision between Leyton Orient and Stockport County. I'm not so sure. So the guy was about 3 yards offside. Obviously no VAR in League One as well, but the guy is clearly offside and nothing given. It was a bit similar to that one, really. The linesman not giving it, but they do have VAR in Scottish football, so I imagine this one.
He should get chalked off because he's never onside in the move.
Yeah.
No Aberdeen player touched the ball. So when Barron put the ball through, no goal offside VAR. That's the right decision. Yeah, we couldn't tell there. It just looked like he was in the box, but he's actually a mile off. He stood off. That's the annoying thing about that. He's worked hard today, Dessers, but that's just schoolboy,
For the striker as well, obviously, you need to be getting yourself back on side. He's just sort of walking back. Maybe it's again another indication of where maybe the Rangers players' heads are at. They're just sort of going through the motions with this one. He's just walking back there, gets caught offside. Good finish from him, but it counts for nothing.
Well, at school they tell you, you're walking up to the line with the centre backs. It's just too easy. Just too easy that. Anyway, Barron wins the ball, but he got it by tackling through his man. I don't know if the referee's blown for the half. I think they were thinking it was all over there, but is there just one more free kick before we go into half time? We haven't mentioned McGrath really enough today, but anyway, he got shoved in the back and Barron was tackling through him. So this will be the last action of this first half. And at Ibrox, the Teddy Bears are having their tummies tickled today. The Dons are working hard enough to keep them at bay. They haven't had to work too hard. And one goal that wasn't, that was ruled offside. Here an opportunity for Aberdeen. They're through and the shot comes in and it's into the back of the net. And the flag, I think, has gone up there. Debar put the ball in, but had he strayed there, again, the flag's gone up this time. But do we trust the man with the flag? He didn't put it up last time. And of course, it was offside. But let's take a look, Josh. What do you think?
Well, we're going to have to see which player it is that touches it. I think it is offside in the end, isn't it? Yeah, it's the guy, Stabber, isn't it, who wins the header. He's offside from the free kick. Unless number 8, Povara's got a touch on that. I think he hasn't. That's why it's ruled out. It looked like there was about 4 players that ran offside from the initial free kick that was taken. They're probably going to have a check anyway. But
I think Suter, he's not that far away from playing him on there. Anyway, he was definitely offside, I think, Debar. But anyway, the Palestinian there wheeled away in delight. Funny that, 2 offside goals in the space of 2 minutes. But we've had precious little goalmouth action. Debar saying, what, me? Who, me? Yeah, you. In fairness to him, though, I think in a schmozzle like that, when there are players in a long line. When you're defending a free kick like that, you may be taking a chance. With Dessus, it was just he couldn't be bothered to walk back, so it was less obvious. Anyway, surely the referee's going to blow his whistle. I don't know what time he's playing now, but anyway, he should be blowing his whistle sometime soon. On the TV, they thought he'd finished for the half when he gave that free kick, but here Tavernier, good ball in through the box, but nobody can get in the end. Just slightly overhit actually. Jeff Day picks it up. Anyway, ball with Raskin. Don't know what they're doing now. Ball played long. Keeper comes out. He grabs that. That should be the end of that, unless the referee's completely forgotten what he's doing, which I would assume he has, because he's played 2 more minutes than we were supposed to have.
Yeah, he's definitely playing an extended amount of time. We're still waiting for the half-time whistle before he eventually does blow. We get more of the action basically in the last 2 minutes of the half there than we did for the most of the first half. However, saying that, it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half-time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessus headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half-time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. Well, as the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessers headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. Not really much urgency in their attacking play. As the half has gone on, James Tavernier has been more involved. Some dangerous crosses into the box. Dessa's headed wide before putting the ball in the back of the net just before half time. Was ruled out for offside. Aberdeen have had one ruled out for offside too. Goalless in the second half. Half time at Ibrox Stadium, and it's still goalless between Rangers and Aberdeen in this one. Not a lot to talk about for the majority of the half. Aberdeen obviously coming here to defend. They've got European football to try and qualify for, so every pound does count from now on. Rangers look like a side whose season is already done. And we will leave that just there. Very warm welcome back to all those listening for this unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this Scottish Premier League match between Rangers and Aberdeen at the Ibrox Stadium. As we enter the second half, it's still goalless between the two sides in this one. Truth and all honesty, it's not been the greatest of first halves to watch from a neutral perspective. Very little in the way of big chances so far. Rangers, their season's pretty much done, and it's sort of reflected in the play style that they have as well. Aberdeen still a decent chance of qualifying for Europe, so every point counts for them, and that's what they're certainly looking to achieve here at Ibrox. They've defended well so far, not giving away too much. Rangers, as the half did go on, still got a few chances towards the end. Two disallowed goals coming at the end of the half. One coming for Cyril Dessers of Rangers after he was caught lacking and was coming back from an offside position when he received the ball before firing past the defender. Dagba also was guilty of that same offence at the end of the half. His header from a free kick being saved before his rebound was then put in, but it was in an offside position. So we did go in goalless at the half-time break. John, hoping for a little bit more in the second.
Hoping for something, yeah. Yeah, we've got those changes, haven't we? Nisbet, an old stager really. He's on loan from Millwall. Back in the day, he'd scored the odd goal. I think he's a bit less mobile now. He's good in the air if they can get the ball to him. I'm not surprised that Kells went off, because all he did was poke the ball forward and run after it, and me and you could do that, let's face it. I don't know much about Pape Gueye, but at 6'2", he's another target. 2 strikers come on. Can they find him though? Jamie McGrath did nothing, did he, in the first half, the number 7. Don't think he's going to start swinging good ball in. But we'll have to see. Somebody's got to do something better, and I'm pleased to see Gamani come on. I think he's a good player. Like I said though, I always had that feeling about him. He's just carrying a little bit of overweight. He'll ball into the box, so looking for Pape Gueye. Didn't quite reach him, but it was a decent cross in, and the one swings in again. So clearly they've got 2 target men in. It's up to the Dons now to put some decent ball in. That last one actually was all right.
Yeah, it was a decent ball there from Graham Shinney from deep towards the back post. Didn't quite work out for him in the end before the Rangers defenders eventually dealt with it. But yeah, as John mentioned, I know there's been a couple of changes since the half-time break. I'll just run you through those now. For Rangers, we had the one change. Igamane has come on in place of Bayrami. Not surprised there. The Albanian did look like he'd picked up a little bit of an injury towards the end of the first half. For Aberdeen, it's Dabba and Ockles both coming up in place of Kevin Nisbet and Pape Habib Gueye as well. So those are the changes. I'll just go through the full lineups as well for you. So Rangers starting with Kelly in goal. The defence is Tavernier, Suter, Balogun and Jeff Day. Raskin, Diomande and Barron in midfield, and the front three is now Igamane, Dessers and Cherny as Aberdeen come forward. Now just on that right side, it's been a good start to the half for the Dons. Still a chance here. McGrath on the right hand side trying to work it up, and he's past Jeffrey as well towards byline, cuts it back. Crucial intervention from the goalkeeper. Liam Kelly was far too easy there for Aberdeen to get down that right side. Danger hasn't gone just yet. Might fall for Graham Shinney on the left side of the penalty area. He's been marked out now by James Tavernier. Might fall for Keskinen on the edge. Clarkson puts it back to him. Keskinen into the penalty area. It's off the post as well. But what a start to the half this has been for Aberdeen so far. Keskinen involved in a fantastic move there. Got set through on goal. Great ball through the middle from Clarkson. Loads of space. Opened up a decent effort as well, just the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, it's good that he's left foot short, he's bending, it comes off the post. He's never going in though. I do have a feeling that Liam Kelly's got that covered, but yeah, it's decent. And when it pings back off the woodwork, you've got to say, yeah, it went close. But yeah, I think they're thinking, well, why not? I'm sure they talked at half time about how tepid it's been at the Ibrox in comparison to what it normally is. Obviously, the Ultras still making their noise, but there's a big sort of a wedge of Aberdeen fans who are hoping for the best, hoping for European football, and hoping their team can maybe nick a victory here. But they've got to be careful. They've been encouraged to come forward this first half, but sometimes that can bite you, can't it? Here comes Cherny, an opportunity, good save. Keeper comes out there. I thought he did really well. Mitov just closing down the angles, but the game's come to life.
Yeah, it certainly has. Igamane almost immediately involved there as well. Some substitute working well for Rangers. Good ball down the channel as well towards Cherny. It's on his favoured left foot. In the end, just runs out of space a little bit. Mitov is off his line well enough in the end to make the save, and Rangers do have a corner. So the first 4 minutes of this half already providing more action than most of what we got in the first half, as both sides come relatively close to taking the lead early on in the second 45 minutes. There's just a little bit of a stoppage at the moment as an Aberdeen player needs to get his sock back on properly. So we're back underway again pretty shortly, I'm sure. I'll just go through the Aberdeen lineup as well, as I was cut off before I could do that for you. Mitov is in goal. It's Devlin Tobers, who's on a yellow card, and Wester and Shinney as well in defence. Midfield pivot of Clarkson and Polvara still. As I mentioned, it's Pape Habib Gueye on for Alkers, Kiskinen and McGrath as well as Nisbet up front as well. But now here comes the corner from Tavernier. Plays it short towards Cherny, who sets him back in, tries to get a left-footed cross. It made too much sense doing the set piece like that, putting it back onto Tavernier's left foot from the set piece. He'll get another go at it this time though. I'm surprised if he just swings this one straight into the box on this occasion, but remains to be seen as we've gone past 6 minutes in this second half. A few decent chances so far, certainly livelier than what we were getting in the first half. Here it comes out from Tavernier, straight to the box this time. Suter with the header as well at the back got a good connection on it, rose well into the air, just couldn't quite get it on target.
Yeah, again, it's a decent ball in. Again, it sort of just comes off his head at an angle. He's stealing around the back, you know. But even though he's done that effectively, Suter, there are two, because they're zonal marking. He's running up against two zonal men who just don't let him get a free run. That's probably why the header didn't look so good. You think, oh, he's got a free run at that, but eventually he's running into immovable objects. Oh, and well, the ball almost round the back there. Is that Diamandis stealing in? I think it was, into the box. Just try to hook his left foot to round the ball. He went from deep. He was picked up. It was good football that by Rangers. Good run from Diamandis. Just couldn't get there.
Yeah, chances starting to flow a little bit easier now as well for the home side. It's a lovely ball through the middle, wasn't it, from Raskin once again pulling the strings. Diamandis just a little bit too far off into getting meaningful contact on it, but after a really positive start to the half from Aberdeen with that big chance earlier on. It's Rangers who've once again put themselves in the ascendancy. He's back with the goalkeeper though at the moment, Balogun. And towards Kelly and then back to Balogun again before the goalkeeper sends it towards that right side looking for Tavernier. It's away though by an Aberdeen man. It will be Suter who lays it off for Tavernier to take the throw in this time. He's been shown shots at the moment of the Aberdeen manager Jimmy Tellin. Decent job so far in charge of the Dons, and he's certainly looking to take at least a point away from the Ibrox here. It's definitely the chance for Aberdeen to do that there against the Rangers side that clearly lacking a bit more motivation than they usually would do in front of fairly empty crowd by Rangers standards. Obviously me and John thinking there's about 10,000 missing in that stadium this Sunday afternoon. Here is Jeff Day there now on the left wing up towards the penalty area, tries to dig out a cross before it's well blocked by Devlin. McGrath now to take it away before turning back and laying it off back to Devlin. Just smashes it down the right wing. It's back to Balogun though, takes it down really nicely and finds Conor Barron. Diamanda can get Rangers moving now as well as he drives just up past the halfway point of the Aberdeen half. Cuts inside looking for Raskin. Pape Gué is the furthest man forward at the moment for the Dons, and he's the man leading the press before the ball comes in from Suter. Looking for Igamani, who's eventually going to be able to take that one down just by the corner flag now being marked out by Tobis. Tries to find Yefte on the overlapping run, and Igamani then with some pressing as well before it eventually goes out for a goal kick. So again, some more sustained pressure there from Rangers. Igamani getting himself involved early on in the second half. Certainly does look a bit more of a lively threat than Biryami.
Yeah, well, they're very different players, aren't they? I think Bajrami, you know, he's a supply really. He's not going to get in amongst the goals. Igamani's really a striker, you know. He's younger and he's got legs about him, so they can play him off. Desses, but really the two are playing the same position. Here's a chance and the shot comes in, but in the end, well, the shot from the right-hand side from Papagea was a little bit weak, wasn't it? The Senegalese just thought, right, I've got a chance. Might as well have a go, but he's never really troubling Liam Kelly there. No,
it was a big mistake, wasn't it, from Conor Barron in the midfield. Was a bit sort of dwelling on the ball, had it nicked off him by Pape Gué. The strike never really troubling Liam Kelly. Didn't let it bounce though in front of him before eventually claiming it back up. So here's a big chance now for Rangers. Cherney's clean on through on goal and he's put it in the back of the net. That was far too easy from an Aberdeen perspective. The space open up between the defenders. They just let Cherney walk through. In the end, it was like he was completely unopposed. He puts the ball as well past the goalkeeper nice and calmly. Rangers finally have their 1-goal lead after 55 minutes.
Yeah, and it's come on a plate, isn't it? Do you know what? Me and you'd have scored that for Cherney. Just walking through the middle. Let's take a look how it all develops. He's just run through a big gap. What I do like about that is the part that Desses plays. And again, you've said about 5 minutes ago that Raskin's been pulling the strings, and he has. But Desses takes the number 5 away, and he leaves a great big gap through the middle. You know, Cherney's thinking, right, okay. I have times think that a straight ball is the most difficult ball in football. You know, he's no angle there at Raskin. He just rolls it right in. Because he's running into such a great big gap, it's dead easy. And then all he's got to do is tickle it home. He's 12th this season. You know, he scored a few. He's certainly more deadly than Bajrami and all that. But yeah, it was just too easy that, and sloppy from Aberdeen.
Yeah, really not what we've seen them so far as well. They've kept it relatively compact at the back in that first half. They didn't give too much away really until the end of the half before just conceding that goal there, and it's right through the middle once again. It's where the offside goal did come from though as well.
Yeah, I think maybe we've been talking about the experience of Shinnie, but he's been marking Cherney. I think you've got to think as a left back, where's the man I've been marking gone? You know, it's all right thinking, oh, I've got a breather here. You've got a breather, yeah, because your man's in the middle about to run through a big gap. And equally for Mats Noster, it's like, okay, well, if you want to mark Dessers moving away from the box, you can do that. But surely, you know, for you make the message to Tobas, like, I'm leaving a big gap here. Look at this. It's awareness, isn't it? And they just fell into a great big trap, you know, and then it was easy. Anyway, Diomande there just caught late. I don't think there was any great intent there from Shinnie to damage him. He just got the ball caught in his feet, and Shinnie's trying to nick it away from him as he strikes the ball. But anyway, it's a free kick for Rangers.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do with this one now. Looks like it's going to be the right foot of Tavernier to take it as well. Just about 12 minutes into the second half, Rangers already with that 1-goal lead. Feel like a second goal for them now really would put them out of sight in this game. It'd be a tough mountain to climb for any side at the Ibrox. Here it comes out. Dessers is there with the header as well at the front post. Just keeps it a bit too high on this occasion. Another chance goes begging there for the Nigerian. Decent enough delivery from Tavernier. Dessers keeps his run onside, just puts it over the bar on that occasion, but they are looking a little bit more dangerous now and definitely getting themselves on top, Rangers.
Yeah, they are. You know, 1 goal, it brings consternation, doesn't it? Oh, but then the poor kick out. Here come Aberdeen, ball into the box, a chance and a shot, great save by Kelly, and then the next one comes in. Well, 2 shots there in quick succession, Geyer and then Keskinen. Again, it's the same shot from Papagea. He's bending a side foot shot without any power around the corner. I just don't believe it's going in, even at that near post. He gives him the eyes to go far post, but then it's just not enough on the ball. You know, not enough power behind that strike.
Yeah, 2 decent chances for him so far since coming on at half-time. It wasn't the greatest of strikes, though, on goal there. Definitely save that Liam Kelly would expect himself to make. Just didn't get any real conviction behind the shot. But as I say about Rangers looking deadly, the game is starting to open up a little bit more. It's opening up nicely for both sides. There's a few mistakes as well going on the edge of the penalty areas. At the moment, it's Rangers who are the ones who've made the most of that so far, and that's the difference between the two sides. As referee just involved in sorting out some more fouls there. It was Noesta with a port heavy touch and then just dragged down Dessers in there. And he's got to be careful there as well, Noesta. He is on a he's not on a yellow card, it's Tobas, his centre-back teammate who's on the booking, but if he gets one as well, then that's your 2 centre-halves on a booking coming up against some dangerous players for this level, so they'll be on quite a tightrope. Rangers are coming forward once again. It's Cheney, the goal scorer, twisting and turning on the edge of the box, lays it off for Igamane. First time ball looking for Raskin, who'd made the run forward. Will come out now to Conor Barron, just on the edge, right-footed cross towards deep. It might fall in the end for Igamane. It doesn't quite. Devlin will head that one back to his goalkeeper. There's another issue now for an Aberdeen man inside the penalty area with an injury. There's been quite a few of those so far. Just look at Dessers' shirt as well. It's been pretty much ripped wide open in the second half. There's a few physical battles going on.
Yeah, and he's that sort of guy, like we said. He's a real handful, isn't he? And puts himself about. There, that's a terrible challenge from Raskin. No attempt to play the ball. He makes it back for McGrath, and McGrath comes down. I'd yellow card that. It's a real bugbear of mine. But you know, that challenge where you don't challenge for the ball. You're just going to send a man flying over the top of you. You know. Anyway. The referee gave a free kick, that's all, and the ball back in the hands of Mitov. 1-0 down. I mean, they came out and had a couple of chances, didn't they, Aberdeen? But the game certainly opened up this second half. Yeah,
it certainly has. There's been way more chances in this opening 15 minutes of the second half than pretty much what we got for the entirety of the first, and that's due to, I imagine, Barry Ferguson having a few stern words out of time. Both sides have changed it up as well since the interval. Imagine Conor Barron's not been penalised for that challenge there on Jamie McGrath. The game's still going on and Barron's back in possession of it now, finding Igamane just ahead of him on the halfway line. Igamane finds Cheney, space is opening up again for Rangers on the counter-attackers Cherny puts it in for Raskin. Lovely turn as well. Up to the byline now. Cuts the ball back for Dessers. And he's finally got his goal. It's the second goal of the game for Rangers, putting them well outside now of Aberdeen at the moment. It was lovely football from a Rangers perspective. Once again, down that left side, Raskin showing his quality and why he's been linked away to some Premier League teams. Just cut in, put the ball across. Dessers isn't going to miss from there.
Yeah, he's having a good game, isn't he, Nicholas Raskin? You know, more than just a defensive screen today. He's played some good football. Cherny's done well. He seems to be better running through the middle. It makes it less obvious, you know, that left foot thing. But Raskin looks up, and I said this, you know, if it's a cross, don't let it be a cross. Let it be a pass into the box, find a teammate. And he cuts around the first man beautifully. And he picks his man out. He puts the ball in at a certain pace. Dessers can't miss. And I tell you what's great as well. Dessers doesn't miss. And he points to him. And he said, right, that's it. You know, that's the ball I wanted. You know, you couldn't have done any better than that. You've put it on a plate. You've made me look good. And you've given me a goal. Thank you. You know, I love that as a celebration as well. I really quite like Dessers, to be honest.
Yeah, he's definitely a good striker to watch, isn't he, when he's on that form. He's never going to miss from there, and it's the sort of service that he craves in a Rangers shirt. Whenever they do find him in those sort of areas, more likely than not, the ball is going to end up in the back of the net, and there's some real confidence now about Rangers. Some lovely football. Dessers up towards the edge of the penalty area. Again, he's trying to cut the ball back there for Igamani. Aberdeen have just got to try and hold on as much as they can at the moment. We mentioned before the game about how important goal difference was going to be for them in their battle for European football this season, and as it stands, the goal difference is going to be taking a little bit of a hit. It goes down to -6. It's still 2 better than Dundee United, just below them, as Guay goes down there under a challenge.
I tell you what, they had a great opportunity then, Aberdeen, and Papagay was just too weak. He just thinks, oh, I'm going to run into contact. If I go down, we might have a free kick. But they had 4 against 3, and if he plays the ball quickly, and if he's more positive there, then they do something. I've not been impressed with the Senegalese since he's come on. Nisbet a little bit slower to get there really, but that was something. Nice play by Jamie McGrath to start all that, and there was a real break on then.
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't there, between the two sides. Rangers just have that conviction going forward on the counter-attack. Meanwhile, Graham Shinney has picked up a booking from the referee. Imagine that was for a foul earlier in the build-up, maybe towards the goal. Cheney looking a much better player though in the second half now. Just some skill there. Eventually takes him round McGrath, and here come Rangers once more. Igamani trying to find Jefte just ahead of him. Jefte eventually gets it. Tavernier free, but Jefte goes for the shot himself. I imagine Tavernier will have some word to him about that when he was free on the right side of the box. The defender tried to go for it all though himself, took it on his right foot, just sent it over the bar as well. Maybe Tavernier would have been the better shout there.
Well, we can say undoubtedly now, can't we? Because benefit of hindsight and all that. Look, I'm wide open, I'm wide open, I'm wide open. I'm still wide open. He looks down at the ground, Tavernier. Jeffrey's now looking at the ground. He went straight over to Tavernier straight after that to give him a hug. Sorry, but when it all opens up and at 2-0, I think you go for it, don't you? But he just didn't execute his shot particularly well. Looks like there's maybe an injury to Leighton Clarkson, just feeling his side of his head there. But it's all gone horribly wrong for Aberdeen. We talked about the goal difference. They're only 2 better off now than Dundee United, who would chase him. Dundee United will have winnable games. I don't know if they've got next, but obviously for the Dons it was Rangers Celtic. You'd assume that the Terrors have got something a bit more winnable, and it might well be for them that a victory and 3 points, you know, could swing it their way. But anyway, yeah. So that's the worry for Jimmy Thelin. All that hard work. And now the Rangers fans who are in the stadium at Ibrox are now beginning to make a bit of noise.
Yeah, they certainly are. I've seen the side having a lot more joy in the last couple of minutes or so. It doesn't look like Aberdeen have just made some changes. Well, giving you confirmation of who those for in just a moment. I think Graham Shinney was one of the men who did depart the field for them. I think Alexander Jensen as well has come on in place. So Aberdeen throwing the dice as much as they can as we just go past the 65-minute mark.
Yeah.
It's Tobers as well who's also made play. So it's Tobers and Devlin who've come off for Jensen and Milner. So we'll see what sort of impact that has going forward. I think they sort of had to try and change it up. They're in danger of being, you know, well and truly beaten here, and being taken out of this game. We've just sort of got to change it up, try and short it up, and maybe just go for damage limitation.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what to do, isn't it? You know, it's reactive stuff now. As again, Raskin overplays it, and then he does really well. Drops the shoulder, takes it to around McGrath. Yeah, Raskin having a good game. That's a strong challenge. Diamandi, he's going to get a yellow card for that, I fancy, once he gets off the deck.
Yeah, heavy challenge from Diamandi. He's been on the receiving end of a few of those in this one. McGrath also on the deck receiving some treatment in a moment, I reckon. He's already been down as well in this half. Diamandi looks, it's been a bit more pain at the moment before he's going to receive his yellow card.
Well, let's take another look at it. You know, he got the ball out of his feet, but then he's sliding in, and you know what? It's that thing. You turn the ball away from yourself, and you're desperate to win it back, and then you end up doing something stupid. And he did. He went over the top of the ball, and he's lucky really that it's just yellow there, because he was out of control, way over the top of the ball. He was only one-footed. I think that's what saved him from red.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, we saw the League Two playoff semi-final yesterday between Notts County and AFC Wimbledon, and Hassano Jatta was sent off for a challenge. It wasn't too much worse than that, definitely out of control, but still didn't even really make that much contact with the man, and Diamandi on the caution there. He just once again shown shots of Barry Ferguson. We're hoping that he can do enough to secure that Rangers job as it stands. Doesn't look like he's going to be given the permanent one for the foreseeable and remainder. I'll just take Rangers through the rest of this season. But it's Aberdeen who get the game back underway now. Still slightly on the ropes at the moment. Rangers looking a lot more dangerous than they were in the first half. But here is Graham Shinney going forward for the away side. Dessers just easily takes that off him though. It's lovely. Challenge at the end, a poor ball forward, intercepting Aberdeen. Can catch Rangers now if they play this one right. Here is Nesbitt coming off the bench. He maybe gets caught as he takes the challenge on, takes a shot on, sorry. I don't think he's going to win a free kick for it as well, but that will take us up to the halfway point of this second half. Rangers with a comfortable 2-goal lead. It'll be John to take through to full time.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Well, Josh, the game came alive, didn't it? We actually had a spell of football there, which we're both grateful for, I think. And some good football by Rangers, actually. Aberdeen created bits and pieces, didn't they, before Rangers scored, but they didn't take their chances, and as ever in football, you don't do that, and you're going to be susceptible to the counter punch, and that's exactly what happened. Leighton Clarkson now is going to take a corner kick for the Dons. Ball comes in, it's a great delivery, here's an opportunity. Wow. Well, Dante Polvara, we've hardly mentioned this kid, and I don't want to mention that, but when you're hitting on the half volley, I think it's really difficult to keep the ball down, which he proves beyond any shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's one he won't want to watch back again. The chance bobbled up nicely for him, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a few Rangers players on his own men in the way of it as well, but if you can keep that down and just find the top corner, it's Aberdeen back in this game. It's probably their biggest chance of the game so far as well.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Need to keep his right foot over the right knee over the top of the ball. I sound like coaching granddad or something like that. Yeah, keep your knee. But it's true. You see that miss time and time again. You know, the ball's pretty light nowadays. You wait for the ball to come down a half volley, a shot of adrenaline. Players want to hit the ball sweetly, which he did, but maybe too sweet. Here's Igamani now driving forward. He's looking for Cherney. It's a poor ball. Raskin was running through the middle as well. The break back for Rangers though. Aberdeen haven't cleared their lines properly. Tavernier now Moses forward. They must feel that they've got this game won. Diamandi drops his shoulder. Little drag turn into box. If only he knew he didn't have to be as complex as that, Raskin. There's a shot from the edge of the area. What a goal! Well, Igamani had just on the half volley, out step of his right boot, curling in. I mean, that's sweet. But they're in their pomp now. They know they've got this game won, you know, and I'm not sure it's showboating, but it's a delicious strike.
Yeah, it's a fantastic goal from Igamani, who's made a real positive impact, hasn't he, since coming on at half-time. Since he's come on, Rangers managed to score 3 goals. Initially thought the chance was gone when Raskin tried the turn in the area, but it's a poor clearance from Aberdeen. It just sits up nicely for Igamani. He's only got one thing on his mind there from the edge of the D. Just strike it into that far corner, and that's exactly what he does. Gets the right amount of power on it. It's not really much chance for Mitov. He's diving at full stretch down to his right, maybe even gets a fingertip to it as it comes in off the post, but he can't keep it out. That's Rangers well and truly out of sight now in this game. Aberdeen have got to be careful they don't end up on the end of a bit of a tonkin here.
Yeah, I mean the game's turned into exactly what they didn't want. 12th Premier League goal for Hamza Igamani, who yeah, he's a player I like. I think he needs to work on base fitness, things like that. I think he's got enough skill, and he got a big grin on his face right now. Raskin then bumps into him. Well done, mate. Rangers 3, Aberdeen 0. And you know what? Well, we thought the Rangers would win, but honestly, it was a hard watch in the first half. I was a little bit surprised that Aberdeen kept their shape. It seemed to, you know, work well for them in the first half. Bailey Rice is going to come on now, and Diomande go off now. He's on that yellow card. But I saw Bailey Rice play in Europe. I thought he looked good. You know, it might have been his debut as well. I think he surprised me, you know, with the quality of his play. And then he picked up an injury. He might have left the field on a stretcher. But he's back for more, and he clearly looks good enough, or you know, good enough to be at this level and with this team. So he's a you know, bright spot for the future, really.
Yeah, he certainly is. He was talking in the media just before about as well how well he thinks he's done this season. That he thinks he's put himself in good stead for the next campaign to certainly earn a few more minutes. I agree with you, John. We did that game against Bilbao in the Europe, and he was really impressive in that one before he had to be stretchered off. And it looked like he might have been out for some time, but thankfully the injury hasn't been too bad and he's back in action now. But Aberdeen with Ockles down the left-hand side.
Yeah, thank God one of us remembered which game it was. Honestly, live flashing in front of my eyes there. But anyway, ball just kept in by Aberdeen down the right-hand side, and we haven't seen much of Alexander Jensen just yet. But the ball breaking off the big guy Paul Varant. Raskin wants the ball, arms out. Yeah, he's had a real good game today. I'm sort of reappraising what I think about him. You know, good all-action game. It looks like he's as fit as anything. Really getting up and down. And when you're as fit as that, you can have a big effect on the game, can't you? So his baseline fitness must be absolutely incredible to do what he's done today. Ball goes back. Balogun now back to his keeper. Second half then, we've had 12 shots and 5 have been from Aberdeen, 3 on target. You know, their XG, he'll be something, but they've not taken their chances. As again, it's Jeff Day who has played okay. Ball out to Raskin now playing on the left wing. Igamani now good first touch from him, trying to grab a second goal there, but this time the ball is blocked out by Jack Milne. Back in there defending Igamani. Well, look at him now, step overs here and there. Scoops the ball into the box. Here's a Tavernier there with a right-footed volley. He couldn't quite get it right. It's almost a bit like Di Canio's scissor kick, not quite, but you know what I mean. It would have been a great goal had it gone in.
Oh, it would have been absolutely fantastic if it could. Again, credit to Igamani, who's been absolutely brilliant in this second half. He just turns his man and see the confidence that he's playing with at the moment. Lovely chip ball towards the right side, and he made Jamie McGrath really look silly there with that piece of skill, just flicked it over to him. But yeah, good ball towards the back post in the end. Tavernier can't really catch it as sweetly as he wants. You can see what he's trying to do, just trying to volley it into that far corner. It doesn't quite work out for him, and he just sort of scuffs it a little bit wide of the post. But Rangers still coming forward quite a lot, in this half. Just about 15 minutes left to go as well. Couldn't put it past them if they do score a couple more in this one. Aberdeen, for all that they've looked better going forward in the second half, they seem to have traded that with the defensive stability they had in the first.
Yeah, it's a poor trade-off, isn't it? I'm afraid Conor Barron there shows too much of the ball to the opposition, but they never have it for long, do they, Aberdeen? Keskinen's gone quiet. He quite lively the first half. Unfortunately, the ball that when they've had their clutch chances really has gone to Papagea, and the Senegalese doesn't really look up to it. Ponderous striker of the ball, but anyway, I'm sure on another day he'd be hitting the back of the net. Not today though, and then Nisbet doesn't seem to be able to get there. I know he reckons his overall game has improved, but I think you sort of baseline fitness has got to be one that gets you involved a lot more than Nisbet does at the minute. Lovely little drag through there in midfield. Raskin again, he's shown us all his party pieces today, all sorts of bits of skill. And, well, I would say that he's man of the match by a mile today.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well so far. We'll see how the final 40 minutes goes, of course, but he's been really impressive, even in the first half when Rangers weren't really ticking in an attacking sense. He was still their most lively player in the middle, just sort of buzzing around with it, looking for things to open up. And although he didn't get the goal in the first half, he definitely got rewarded for it in the second with that fantastic assist for Cyril Dessers, and it's one of the differences at the moment between these two sides. Obviously, only 2 places separate them in the table, but Rangers are a much better side than Aberdeen. We know what Scottish football can be like. It's the 2 sides at the top that dominate, and let's see what happens with this free kick as it's swung in.
Yeah, the ball breaks back to Barron. Initially well defended. McGrath, he's struggling to get a foothold in the game. Another cross comes in, and it's headed away from Dessers. All hands to pumps there. Milne's just come off the bench, but he's another big lad, a big unit, and he's the latest to be battling away with the big Nigerian number 9. Anyway, Rangers 3, Aberdeen 0. It's a corner kick. So, plenty of opportunity for Rangers, who fans now laughing and joking in the stadium. They looked painted on in the first half, didn't they? And there was lots of, and still is lots of blue seats available. As Cherney now, ball to the near post hasn't been cleared, and it's a good save there. Balogun thought he'd scored, but it's a good tip over that from Mitov for there under pressure. Yeah,
crucial there for the goalkeeper. He's had a tough half, hasn't he, with the way that his defence has sort of let him down. It's an interesting set-piece routine at first. Cherney just smashes it towards the near post. Igamana gets a flick to it towards the back. It's headed back across goal, and then for Balogun to attack it, gets decent contact on it in the end. It's a crucial save from Mitov, one that he has to make, otherwise it starts going to the sort of embarrassing territory for Aberdeen.
Good corner in, I think Nisbet heads it away, and then the shot comes in from Barry. Scuffed his volley. Ball back with Jeff Day, and he shows way too much to Shinnie, and then Shinnie runs into him. I think he realises he's not going to get there. It's actually good defending by Jeff Day. He's last man there. It's a last-ditch challenge, and he's come away with winning a free kick. I think for Shinnie, he just couldn't think of what to do.
Yeah, it's sort of the one player in that Aberdeen side that you don't really want to see that far forward there. Graham Shinnie, not really the most creative player, and doesn't quite know where to take that one in the end. We're just seeing another change now for Aberdeen. We'll see whether this one can have any sort of better impact than the other ones they've made in this game. Obviously, at the start of the second half, it looked like it had worked, bringing on the likes of Guay and Nesbitt. They had a few chances, but didn't really work out in the end. And Shaden Morris is now going to replace Paul Vara before the Rangers substitutions made.
Yeah, so Balogun goes off, and we're going to see Danilo come on as well. So that'll be another striker, I think. So the number 99, obviously not for Balogun, but yeah, a couple of changes. Dessers who's going off for Danilo to come on. Yeah, and again, full-blooded stuff from Cyril Dessers. Tom Lawrence is going to come on as well. I think everybody getting a run out today, seemingly. Kasim Wirjo is the man replacing Balogun. So, yeah, a triple change for the Teddy Bears, who were poor today, and second half they've been a lot better. So Naresho Kasim Wirjo is on loan from Feyenoord. He's from Amsterdam, but he hasn't got been capped by the Dutch as yet. Maybe not, but he played a lot for the unders, trying to work his way back in. Just 6'1", but anyway, he'll get a little kick out today. Here come Rangers again. Ball looking for Igamani through the middle, but it's overcooked, and that one easily picked up by Mitov, who has done all right. I think there's not much he could have done with the goals, really. I think the one that was the sort of volley from the edge of the area from Igamani, when I looked at that again, the ball bounced just in front of him, but it didn't bounce high. It's like it sort of hit a flat spot somehow, and it just went underneath his hand. He was a bit unlucky, really.
Yeah, I don't think you can blame him at all for the result today. I think he's been let down by his defence in this second half. Maybe the fatigue of having to defend a lot in the first half, sort of catching up with his Aberdeen players. I think the first goal from Cheney, they just let him walk through. Nothing the keeper can do about it when it's a one-on-one like that. Can't really ever blame them for it. The second goal obviously is just some wonderful football. It's a tap in, nothing again that Mitov can do. So, you know, he can't be too disheartened with his performance so far. He's made a few crucial saves as well to stop it becoming even more, and that's what will be crucial in that battle for Europe. It looks like, you know, the goal difference is key, and Aberdeen in danger of surrendering that at the moment.
Well, yeah, bearing in mind they've got a game against Glasgow Celtic to come as well. Hard to square that circle. They'll be hoping that teams play well against Dundee United. But anyway, this still could get European football, whether they're in good shape for that or not. Dundee United, their last European campaign, saw them get relegated at the end of it, you know, and then it was kind of a long way back. So be careful what you wish for. I'm looking at Aberdeen team thinking, well, no great shape to be playing in Europe, this bunch really. I don't know what to commend them. I mean, they've tried to play properly today, so it's not like they've been low blocking or anything like that. Anyway, we'll break off. Shaden Morris gets the first touch, rolls it out to the right hand side. Good cut back then from the full-back Jensen. Yeah, and a terrible cross, and that's the end of that. And I was thinking, well, he's got to be better than Dante Polvara. Maybe he is.
No, that's his first real action of the game, and it's just an aimless cross that goes way beyond the far post and out of play. It's a poor delivery in the end, one that you'd expect to see a lot better of at this time of the game, and yeah, that just sort of sums it up for Aberdeen. Since the start of the second half, and they had those few chances, they've not really posed any sort of threat since then. Rangers look far more comfortable side, and they're just probably going to trot on to a nice and easy victory now. Maybe even score one or two more if they feel like it.
Yeah, for Barry Ferguson, it's been format at Ibrox that it's probably done him down a little bit, you know, and more so against the teams that they're expected to beat. You know, they've actually played quite well in Europe this season, as we pointed out. Obviously, you know, down to 10 men and all that, and they played well against Celtic. But what you got to do is beat everybody. You know, you've got to be consistent. You know, and it's all right being Celtic and, you know, then drawing or whatever against St Mirren. It's just, you know, you handed back the advantage, which they've done several times this season. You know, and it's that really. But you've got to put away the tiddlers as another cross comes in, and the header from Danilo, I think it was, sails over the top of the goal frame. He got there, it seemed to come right off the top of his head and loop up over. When Aberdeen give the ball away, they look like a busted flush right now, don't they, Aberdeen? As again, you know, Bailey Rice is on the ball. Everybody wants the goal now for Rangers, don't they? It looks easy out there for them.
It's like they're begging for the full-time whistle at this point, aren't they, Aberdeen? Just sort of asking the referee to put them out of their own misery. Bailey Rice has shown some nice touches since coming on, as you'd expect as well. And yeah, it's sort of one of them games, and when you're sort of that high up, everyone just wants to try and get on the ball and do as much as they can with it in the limited amount of time that is left in this one. Just sort of maybe trying to impress the manager for the next game.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we were wondering if we were going to get a goal the first half. It was boring. And now the game's come and gone. It's like 3-0. There's no drama to this. Barron nearly getting his pocket picked there. And, you know, Topi Keskinen has kept on going. He got pace and drive about him. But, you know, if I was scouting this Aberdeen team, there's nobody I'd really want to take. I don't think anybody's played well. At times, Shinny's shown a bit of experience, and you've thought, yeah, the touch of class there. Really, that's it. Keskinen, they're trying a little bit of skill, but again, the ball taken off him by Tavernier. You know, had it not been for Raskin's performance today, I think we'd be looking at the captain and saying, you know, he's as good as ever. Look at that long ball. He's like a quarterback there. What a ball over the top. You know, Tom Lawrence there claiming there's a handball by the defender, but what a ball that is. Incredible. Yeah,
it just sums up James Tavernier, doesn't it, really? Even at his age and the amount of games that he's played, he's still able to put those crosses and deliveries in, week out for Rangers. He's a fantastic servant for the club and still has that quality. Obviously, still playing pretty well in Europe as well. He's always the mainstay in that team as Rangers win a goal kick there from a pretty easy position from Aberdeen. But yeah, just touching on that Aberdeen squad, and obviously if they are going to play in Europe next year, I think the squad is going to need quite a lot of work to maybe do better. Yeah, I think Thomas definitely had a shout there for that.
Yeah, you know, Alexander Jensen clearly handled the ball away from Tom Lawrence. It's a shame because it's such a wicked ball that, and I think Lawrence maybe is through and drives that one in. Anyway, here's Higamani, edge of the box again. Here come Rangers. Danilo gets it out of his feet, gets the shot in, and it's a decent save. I can see what he's trying to do. Give him the old soft shoe shuffle. He's looking one way, then turns back and cuts it back on his inside. But I think Mitov did well. He didn't sell himself one way or another, and then he's in good shape to save that.
Yeah, it definitely is. First few touches of the ball there from Danilo. Nice little turn to shift it onto his left. In the end, can't really get the power on it to beat Mitov from there. He's down well to his left. Good reactions from the keeper to stop it being 4-0. But yeah, good play from Rangers again. Feels like if they really wanted to in that sort of situation, they probably could have gone on and scored. But the game's well done at this point, and they're just happy to sort of have those pop shots from the edge of the area.
Yeah, well, some of the Rangers fans didn't come. Some of them are bogging off early now. You know, the match has been won. Beat the crowd, such as it is. Anyway, here come Aberdeen again down the right hand side. Cross comes in, and it's easy enough for Liam Kelly. He's not really been tested today. Again, Shaden Morris doing some stuff. He's not been great, but at least he's been getting on the ball, doing something. I said maybe he's not even as good as Dante Polvara, but he's shown up more for the ball in the last 10 minutes than Polvara did in about 70. So at least we'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's pushed around, hasn't he? He's injected that little bit of energy that you need from your substitutes at this stage of the game. Not quite enough in terms of quality, but here come Rangers now.
Talking about quality, Tavernier. Then a shot from Igamani. I mean, he's getting a lot of action on the ball with the outstep of his boot there, and it's only just hung onto by Mitov, who did well with that spinning ball into him. Brilliant from Tavernier, just superb, isn't he? And he keeps on going. Like I say, you know, he can't carry on forever, but they'd be hoping he could. He's 33 yet now. I'm not wishing him retired or anything, because he played well enough today to think that at this level, you know, why couldn't he keep going for another couple of years?
Yeah, certainly could do if he feels fit enough to do it as well. He's obviously playing 90 minutes every week, so his body's still not letting him down at this point. Here he is on the ball at the moment, just by the wing, and he's back inside. Looks like Newcastle have got it all wrapped up though in the north-east at St James Park against Chelsea. Bruno Guimaraes has made it 2-0 to the Geordies in that one. It was 1-0 after the first half. Nicholas Jackson was also sent off for Chelsea after a pretty awful elbow, what seems, from the replays. So big win there for Newcastle in terms of the Champions League battle.
Yep, it's a big one. They want to be trading Champions League. They got their cup this season. They got a taste of success, you know, and great for them. It would take somebody with a swinging brick for a heart to deny them their moment in the sun this season. But anyway, free kick now for Glasgow Rangers, and so. The Jers probably not going to go for a shot here. Too far away, I would reckon. But anyway, up steps Lawrence. He does go for it. Wow, that's a good strike and a good save. Tipped over. If he got power in that, didn't he, Lawrence? It's a good effort, that.
Yeah, it really is. Mitov looks really frustrated off the back of it. Maybe for just allowing that one to get as close to him. Maybe I think he might have deflected off the wall a little bit, or if it just takes the natural spin. Come off an Aberdeen player, but yeah, crucial save. If he doesn't make that save, we're probably talking about a great goal as well there from Lawrence. Good strike, really impressive.
Yeah, I think it might just have kissed off the wall, which gave it a bit more of an angle. And where Cherney takes the corner kick, we're 90 minutes, like we said. Aberdeen want the mercy ruling. That's a good shot by Cherney and a good save again. Mitov at his near post. Again, and that's what Cherney's good at, you know, why he gets his goals, because he's got a good strike on him, and the ball again bounces in front of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, again, it's another one that he has to make in that situation. It's good contact from Cherney once again. When he cuts on that left foot and comes inside, you're always feeling the worst for the other team with how good he is on his left foot, and here he is again with it.
He is. And this time not so good, because it was telegraphed what he did. Here come Aberdeen on the counter-attack. I thought it's a foul by Suter. He's going to get a yellow card for that. And then he rushes at the referee, and I'd have booked him just for that, let alone his challenge. You know, And it's clearly a yellow card for me anyway. You know, you argue a tangle of legs there, but I think he knows what he's doing. Challenge from the wrong side.
Yeah, definitely a booking. I think you're right. He has to be a bit careful there with the referee. The way that he goes over to him like that, you've seen referees giving out bookings easily for that before, for a little bit of dissent, but managers to just about avoid it. I think it was a yellow card challenge as well, just bringing someone down on the counter attack. Maybe in the context of the game, obviously we're in the final few minutes, it didn't really mean anything, but still has to be careful with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's doing there, rushing over the referee, getting right in his face. I mean, why intimidate him? You don't need to do that. He's a great big hulking centre back. Not that the referee's Paul, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what size the referee is or whether he can take it. He shouldn't be doing it, you know. I feel a bit sorry for referees. Well, I did until the other week. In the Premier League, they get 180 grand a year. So I'm feeling less sorry for them now. I don't know how much they get in the Scottish Prem. I guess it's not quite as much. But maybe. Although, in fairness, the spotlight is certainly on them, and you know, all firm games and all that have been very difficult to referee at times over the years. They've caused controversy. Igamani now is on the ball. 2 minutes left of this game, and the Rangers hardcore are making a load of noise. They're enjoying it. Spirited performance in the end. You know, Barry Ferguson squeezed the response out of his team. Igamani now a ball. Jeff Day, and then a shot. Oh, and a big deflection. They're claiming a handball here, and I don't think it's going to stand this goal. There's a smile on his face, Cherney, and I thought he's like giving it up, saying, "Nah, that's not going to stand." But apparently it will.
Yeah, I think it will. It definitely takes a big deflection. Might have to have come off of Yefte, so we'll see who the goal gets given to here once we see it on the replays. But they all go together to celebrate it. It's a comfortable win, is it? In the end, it's definitely reflected this second half for Rangers. Ball just gets laid off to him. Yeah, it comes off Yefte, so it's been a class of his goal. It comes off his lower end of his back, and that's what completely wrong foots me to have in the end. Once again, nothing that the goalkeeper can do about it. It's just very unlucky from an Aberdeen perspective. See how frustrated he is with it as well from his reaction.
Well, I know. And I like that Jeff Day finger in the air like he's the best striker there's ever been. Yes. Oh dear. Rangers 4, Aberdeen 0. We suspected that Rangers would be too good for Aberdeen, but they've had to dig a little deep second half until they didn't, and then it all came easy. Yeah, maybe just off his thigh or something rather than his backside, but Cherney's effort might have been going wide, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. 4-0 it is. The fans had already departed before then. They're all drifting out now, and we're close to the end of the game. I'll be covering Manchester United against West Ham, so I'm looking forward to that. This game could have been worse, couldn't it? It could have been the second half repeated, which was a hard watch, but we've had a bit of football, a bit of quality actually from Rangers at times. Having here ball on a string at the edge of the box there, has done well. And the referee has seen enough and called it. And the final scoreline then at Ibrox. Glasgow Rangers 4, Aberdeen 0. Thanks for joining us.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck!